welcome to my class. This is Dr. William Sakala. Today we are going to look at law and regulation in psychology in Zambia. This is a PhD program in psychology and counseling. First of all, we need to read carefully. The law does not forgive what it does not know. We need to understand that the law does not forgive what it does not know, which simply means that whether something is not in the law, it doesn't mean that it is absent. So as we go through this module, we'll be able to learn something like that. Before you read, 5 things you must know. Before you start reading these modules or this module, 5 things that you need to know. Number 1, not optional reading. The law determines whether you can register, what you must report, and what can end your career. You need to understand the law determines whether you can register to be a counselor, what you must report as a counselor, and what you can end your career, or what can end your career, as a counselor. Number 2, Section 7, the Tarasov gap. Section 7, the Tarasov gap. Zambian law imposes no duty to warn potential victims of violence. Your clinical judgment is most exposed here. So Zambian law exposes no duty to warn potential victims of violence. It doesn't warn. There's nothing like I was supposed to be warned before this happened. Your clinical judgment is most exposed here. Number 3, legal gaps are features. Telepsychology is unregulated. Minors cannot consent alone. There is no psychologist-patient privilege. There is no psychologist-patient privilege. Number 4, bring questions. The notes will raise more questions than they answer. That is by design. That is how these notes are designed. They will raise more questions than answers. So it is your responsibility as a student to come up with questions, to ask questions that can be answered. Number 5, education, not legal advice. When in doubt, consult HPCZ in writing or seek legal counsel. These notes are purely for education purposes. They are not for legal advice. So if you need any legal advice, kindly contact HPCZ in writing or seek legal counsel. A note to the reader. What these notes will do. Number 1, identify the primary statutes you must know. Number 2, explain the law requires mandatory reporting. Number 3, explain what the law does not require. No duty, no warn. Number 4, identify legal gaps where the law is silent. We'll also talk about what these notes will not do. Provides legal advice to specific situations. Replace consultations with HPCZ or legal counsel. Describe every possible legal scenario. So these are some of the things that these notes will not do. And also provide legal advice to specific situations. Replace consultations with HPCZ or legal counsel. Describe every possible legal scenario. Warning and an invitation. The warning, the tariffs of gap and mature minor problems contradict what many clinicians assume in the universe. These are not errors, they are features of Zambian law you must navigate. The invitation, where the law is silent, PhD research is needed. Each gap is a potential dissertation topic. If you think the law should be different, you have found your research question. These notes are for education purposes only and not constitute legal advice. So they are what are called the tariffs of gap. These are issues which are silent in the law. So these are not errors. They are not errors. These are meant to be just like that. They are features in our Zambian law. If these are actually left out like that for future amendments. So if you find something which is like that, do not ignore, but you can use that as your research paper, as your dissertation. You can come up with a topic and discuss on that one or do a research on that one. That is what a PhD person is supposed to do. And finally, these notes are for educational purposes, like I've already mentioned, only, and do not constitute legal advice.